What is up, everybody, and welcome back to today's episode of Why'd I Buy a Mini Truck? So we got a lot of stuff done on this thing today. Let's start in the front. So up here, we went ahead and pulled the radiator out. We have the entire harness out of here. Now there is a sub harness connected right here to the engine. That just runs down to the alternator and the starter, stuff like that. We will be pulling that off after we pull the motor out. And I think it does also run down to the transmission. So that harness can come out as one. And then when we go to put everything back in, it'll go in already hooked up. Since we will be having a longer ground and a longer lead wire coming out of the starter, since our battery is located in there. But it'll be just better if it's all hooked up as it goes in. Save me a little bit of contortioning. So we got everything out of here we don't need. Everything that was in the way is out of the way. I did take this fender off because the wiring harness runs through here into the door. I am going to keep the front fenders. I got an idea about maybe trying to find a way to graft an FC RX-7 wide body to the truck, since they are somewhat similar in shape. But we might just make something custom. Anyway, it's going to be nice just to have an extra set of fenders. I'm pretty sure that these are just the OE two-wheel drive fenders. I think they've just been pulled. So a lot of that's going to get cut away anyway. It doesn't matter. Let's go inside and I'll show you what I got going on in there. So inside of here, we have the entire wiring harness pulled through each side of the firewall. Tomorrow, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it from those loops there at the top and pull the rest of the harness out, just double checking to make sure everything's labeled, all the connectors are marked, etc. We don't want to have any issues when we go to put it back in. And then when we take it back out again, to go ahead and shorten up some things, extend a few things, because we are going to be doing a partial tuck inside the engine bay. So this whole thing will be out tomorrow. So I'm hoping that Sunday we'll be able to pull this thing out. There are a couple small things I need to do still, like disconnect the fuel line, disconnect the heater core hoses, pull the drive shaft, since we are going to pull the engine and transmission out as a pair, or as a complete assembly. I will be draining the transmission first so that it doesn't all leak out the output shaft, seal hole area. Once this thing's out, we're definitely going to do just a nice solid once over. I might change the color of the block. I'm not really a super big fan of orange, but I might leave it. We do have those other headers that are going to get installed. We got new motor mounts that are going to get installed, which is also going to be cool. We're going to do a polyurethane, probably an 80A bushing. That'll be its own video, since we are going to be, pretty much adapting a set of polyurethane bushings to work. Now, one of the things I'm really excited about is this manual rack, or steering gearbox. I'm glad that this doesn't have power steering, because it was definitely something I wanted to do, and now I don't have to figure out how am I gonna, make this work. This is just going to be nice. This will come out. We'll clean up the engine bay in the Blue King cab. This will go in, but before we put the engine and transmission in, we will be swapping this out, and we're going to take the whole thing, column up, all of it. The only thing I'm not going to take is the ignition switch, because I have genuine Nissan keys, but I might keep it as a backup. I know it's the same for the KA as it is for the Z24 setup, so inside a lot of the things are pretty much the same. So back here, we went ahead and cleaned out all the HVAC ducts, cleaned up the dash a little bit, all the brackets, a couple small things. So what we're going to do is all of the little brackets, like those over there, this one here that crosses the steering column, and those right over there, right there. We're actually going to take all those out. We're just going to give them a quick coat of Steal It. Just going to do a flat black or something. You're not ever going to see them, but it will help keep them protected since they are raw metal and we do not want them to corrode. So we do have an extra grill here. I do have some ideas about making a custom grill for this thing. So we'll kind of see how that goes. I will be hand washing, since all I did was like really hose the stuff down. I will be hand washing the dash and prepping it to be recovered. We are going to do a couple coats of just a satin black, since not every inch of the dash is going to be wrapped. Like the inside cubby here for the glove box, that's not going to be wrapped, but the outside portion will be in probably Alcantara or that black suede. The glove box cover will be wrapped, but the sides of it won't be. So there will be little things here and there that will just have to be painted, and that is just what it is. Like, I'm not going to wrap all of this in here, but I'm also not going to leave it blue. That's, kind of half-assing it. So getting up here in the front, at first, I didn't think I was going to take these wheels and tires, but now I'm really thinking I'm going to. So they're not nearly as deep inside as I thought. And the specs for these will actually help us, because currently the Frontier wheels that I have, if you pretend for a moment that this is the inside of the lip, the inside of the lip, all right here, actually rubs when I turn on here. And on the back, I'm not sure what it rubs on, but definitely something. There's what are those springs or shocks? What do those shocks say? Oh, cool. Well, definitely going to keep those. That's kind of sweet. And we do have a front sway bar. My truck doesn't because it's bagged, which is fine. We are not going to keep... So I need to keep this as a roller, right? Obviously. Because it needs to be able to move around. But I am going to pull as much stuff off as I can. When we do pull this manual rack, I will put my powered rack in just with plugs. It'll suck to move it, but it'll be fine. We're going to swap the wheels over, make sure that they fit. I'm still on the fence about what we're going to do with this truck. Part of me wants to do just a tube front end and slap an LS in it. Or maybe like a Mazda 2.3 liter would be kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that like could happen with this truck. The reality is it's probably just going to be stripped down, and I'm just going to give it away for free. But we'll see kind of what my mood is like when we get closer to that. Right now, my main focus is just making sure we have all the parts we need for our Blue King cab to get that thing back on the road, so I can actually bring it out and enjoy it for a little bit before it starts to snow. So guys, that's pretty much all I have for you today. We have definitely put a lot of work in this evening. All of this took me about 2 hours to get completed, so not too bad. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I was considering keeping the windshield too, because ours does have a crack in it, but I checked with a company that replaces them, and it is just cheap enough to slap one in. So that's definitely what we're going to do. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you if you've liked it, subscribed, or commented, done any of that jazz. Super cool. You guys are awesome. I will catch you in the next one. See you later.